So I'm sure as you can tell by the bottom of the screen, yeah, the servers are still down for something. But aside from that, this is pretty much the mid-season update where a bunch of nerfs slash buffs slash changes slash just general fixes were happening. Lots of slashes. So going throughout the start to the finish, we have at first at the head that fixed issue where consecrated ensigns could appear duplicated in the Defiant battlegrounds. Then into Crucible, they added a new 6v6 connection-based matchmaking weekly rotator, which includes Clash, Zone Control, and Rift. So there isn't just Control and whatever rotates. The existing 6v6 party rotator is now Mayhem, Momentum Control, and Scorched. Updated tutorial Crucible quest to reflect changes to available playlists. Added a metric to show off your competitive division rank. Ascendant competitive division players can now purchase an emblem from Shaxx. Fixed Errant Glorious and Dredgen award slash gilding. All players must re-gild their titles if they have completed the prerequisite triumphs. Increase the strength of the respawn overshield in Crucible. In Rift, activating grapple will no longer drop the spark. And in Rift, players can no longer dunk the spark while moving faster than 15 meters per second or while using a grapple ability. So expect to see a lot of Strand in Rift nowadays. Then in Vanguard Ops, a Legend difficulty battlegrounds now rotate their weapon overcharge weekly. Defeating Tormentors will provide a revive token like Champions and Hive Guardians in some activities, specifically Grandmasters, I imagine. Then fixed Hive door locks and Heist battlegrounds to behave the same in all versions of the activity. Tune difficulty in Heist battlegrounds present in Vanguard and Nightfall playlist. Fixed an issue where a crash could rarely occur shortly after picking up the first solar cell in the arms dealer. Fixed an issue where the arms dealer enemies, which continually respawn to drop their solar cells, could be farmed limitlessly for points. In the Raid and Dungeon Theater, fixed an issue in the Duality Dungeon where the Nightmare Galron could not teleport back to the encounter space after falling out of the environment. So, Master Galron farmed dead. Fixed an issue where checkpoints were shared between Legend and Master modes for raids and dungeons. Fixed an issue in Root of Nightmares where the Cision encounter would sometimes soft lock, preventing progress. That means that a light or a dark mode can actually respawn, I imagine. Fixed an issue where the Root of Nightmares where sometimes the intended screen VFX would not play when players failed the encounter. And fixed an issue in Root of Nightmares where Nezarec would sometimes not cast a wipe when intended. In terms of an exotic mission, fixed an issue where some players could get pushed through walls by Vex traps when getting stuck there. And then in terms of gameplay and investment, for armor, fixed an issue where the Peacekeeper's reload perk wouldn't activate if you stowed an energy slot as a machine gun. And fixed an issue where Phoenix Cradle was not consistently extending the duration of Solo Invictus buff while Burning Maul was equipped. For the weapons, they fixed an issue where certain Gambit weapons were not contributing to the Dark Age Arsenal Triumph. In the PvE primary weapon balancing, increase the damage out type of the following weapon types against red and orange bar slash PvE enemies. Auto rifles a 25% buff, pulse rifles and hand cannons and sidearms 20%, and scout rifles a 10%. Essentially every infinite ammo item on the field, aside from scout rifles for some reason. For weapon archetypes specifically, the Ikelos SMGs remove some tuning in the custom scope that was causing the weapon to have slightly less recoil or significantly less recoil than intended. This is now in line with other aggressive frame SMGs. Fixed an issue causing the Adept Exalted Turret to have a lower mag size than the normal version. They adjusted rapid fire fusion rifles to have more damage per bolt and more damage per burst entirely, but the PvE damage is unchanged. Trace rifles get increased base damage by 4%, reduce precision hit multiplier from 1.4 to 1.3 times, and reduce flinch by 10% at 100% mobility scales at the lower values. Now, sniper rifles, they're getting a reduced recoil by 50% and increasing total ammunition from mags and reserves by 30%. So Cloud Strike possibly OP now. Heavy grenade launchers, they fixed an issue where the Amalon heavy grenade launcher were missing their blasting, and then fixed an issue where the dimensional hypertrochoid could be attained with the range masterwork. This fix prevents the weapon from dropping with range and any existing copies with range to the equivalent handling tier. For weapons specifically, Final Warning can no longer track targets through Titan barricades. Taralba gets reduced energy gained from taking damage by 3 to 1%, which, full warning, I saw people saying this is apparently a big nerf. This is taking damage. You get the most charge from dealing the damage. So, not that much of a nerf. Reduced zoom from 16 to 15 as well. For Risen Zero, they basically made it so that the 4 times the charm would not reset Hunter's Trace. If you don't know what that means, there was a few times that you might have noticed using 4 times the charm and Hunter's Trace, where if you fired a burst before and hit so many shots that were in the precision, occasionally you would swap to the high caliber mode, fire 1 shot, and then it would deactivate on its own. That was a awkward proccing of 4 times the charm that should not have happened, and now resets when you go into Hunter's Trace high cal mode, so it can properly activate. Speaking of Hunter's Trace high caliber, they increased the damage by 25%, and the heavy burst of the Revision Zero also increased damage by 75%. Which officially, though, if you're looking to farm the high trace or the high caliber mode on Revision Zero, you might as well stick with the light burst. It just is better at charging high Hunter's Trace. On perks, they fixed an issue where the enhanced version of Wellspring generated too little energy when the player had any number of charged abilities. And other changes added the capacity to upgrade Root of Nightmares Adepts with enhanced traits. If you haven't unlocked Deep Sight on weapons, an enhancement slot kit will be available to perform this upgrade on the weapons detail screen. Fixed tooltips for Master Dungeons to properly list Artifice Armor as rewards. In general, they changed the Rally Barricade. The area effect now extends slightly further behind and above the Rally Barricade to make staying in the buff area more achievable, especially on uneven terrain. Fixed an issue where Stasis Shard, collated by the Glacial Harvest aspect, would not grant melee energy to a Penumbral Blast if the player had a sword or glaive readied. Fixed an issue where Jolt Chain Lightning was unable to target some types of enemies in PvE combatants. Fixed an issue where trying to throw rapidly while changing or carrying a Taggle could result in an Ardent Charge melee attack. In Bounties and Pursuits, they fixed an issue where players could not interact with the evidence board after the Exotic Glade pursuit is completed. For in general, they added the best dress commendation. They fixed an issue where the objective to complete a solo does not count completions. Okay. To complete, basically, you don't have to do it again if you already did it. Fixed an issue where the objective to complete the raid on Master difficulty does not count completions before. Fixed an issue where players who have crafted their first glaive from the Witch Queen can now claim the patterns to the other 2 characters from the evidence board. Veterans players now receive the correct amount of lore books when they reach rank 7 for the first time, and fixed an issue where players are blocked from progression past Guardian rank 3 if they previously bought all available subclass aspects. So there you go, that's pretty much the mid-season tuning / patching / fixing. So with that will be everything that goes live once the servers are officially restarted. Anything you're excited for, then get ready for it because it will be coming soon. That note, my name is Matt Scorpion, and I'll see you in the next video.